Generic greetings and welcome to Construction plus Prison Architect plus Alpha 17 episode 1. This is our previous Alpha 16 prison and it was okay, it wasn't too bad. I think the defining characteristic of this prison was that the things that I did right, I did very well. The things that I did wrong, I did extremely bad. Like for example, this is probably the best looking and laid out cell block I've ever made. I think it looks fantastic. However, that's the worst common room I've ever done. This was probably the worst holding cell, although it does seem to work up here. That was the... well, I guess that you can't really say anything about that solitary area because it's just standard. This row of officers, although you might think, why am I proud of it? Well, I am proud of it for some reason. It just looked good. Seems to work. Visitation, I'm just terrible at. A horrible thing. And the entire expansion over to this side was a massive pain. So everything was either really good or really bad. Anyway, as this is a new alpha, Alpha 17, we're going to start a new prison. So, as always, no building this episode, only planning. So, we're going to do a small prison as normal, fog of war on, and we're not going to turn on forests, lakes, or buildings. And then we will press play. There we go. So, a brand new prison. Let's say no building this episode is just all planning. So, if you see something that I've done, you can probably post in the comments, and hopefully I'll see it in time to make it, well, basically fix it before the end of the... or the start of the next episode, assuming YouTube doesn't change its upload policies again and I have to upload about 10 days in advance. But anyway, let's not go into that. Let's start by finding the centre of the prison, which should be that. That should be the centre of the prison. Just check by looking for 39 on either side, which it's 39 from there. This one should be 39 as well, which it is as well. Okay, I have an idea. I'm going to design the cell blocks first. Normally the cell blocks are something I put in last. I'm going to put in two massive cell blocks on the bottom and on the top. The reason for that is... Alpha 17 rather brings in some changes and some additions, like every alpha really. The main addition, if you could call it that, is the addition of armed guards. So you have guards walking around with shotguns, which have an interesting effect. They make prisoners, well, probably scared out their wits because there's a guy toting a shotgun about, and they sort of suppress the prisoners. So if everybody's like basically not rioting, but if prisoners, for example, are complaining and an armed guard walk past, the shut up very sharpish. So I think our overall theme will be harshness. Armed guards walking around the prison. We'll have a big armory. We'll have probably a massive perimeter wall all the way around. Something like that anyway. So let's go to our planning and to walls. Let's assume we are going to have a perimeter wall all the way around, which is very expensive, so I don't know if that will happen, but just as a thing, we'll put it there for now so we know. The best thing is to have a plan, but not to stick to it, right? So we've got a plan. We think we might put a perimeter wall in. We might not, but if we decide to do so, then we know it'll fit in. I can always use the extra space, although it is on the edge. But anyway, that'll do. Right, let's put the cell blocks in. So we'll have a rough cell block layout of that. That's wrong. Like I say, massive cell block on the top and bottom. I don't know how big. Now I have an idea for this cell block, and it's a bit unconventional to say the least. I want a 2 gap all the way around, and I want it expand it all the way along, and I want the cells to be that, like this, all the way along. And we'll have, say, entrance there, entrance there, entrance there, entrance there. They're the individual cells. The reason for this is because I think it looks good with a big double door there. It looks quite good, so I think that's what we're going to go with. Although we can't do it there because I've done it. I've measured it wrong. Let me measure it from this side. And what I might do is I might even think about putting, probably putting some sort of shower maybe one of the edges. I don't know. We'll see. Right, we'll just put all these in. Oh god, I'm still messing it up. There we go. And I'm just going to see just if this will actually fit. I don't know if it will or not. So let's just see how far we get with this. There's probably going to be a little odd bit at the end, and it will be really annoying if it is. Yes, there's an odd bit at the end there. That's okay. I can deal with that because what I'll do is I'll cut off that. I'll cut off the last 2, and then I will do that. And then we'll have this as a shower or something like that. Right, let me put the other cell block in, or the other cells rather, which that's the wrong size for start off. So we'll redo it so it's actually the right size. And like I say, we'll have an entrance, say, there, then there. And you might be thinking, why am I not putting it down one side? The reason for that is I'm using double doors, which when they slide across, if that, say, is a double door there, that's a double door. When it slides across, it goes to there, which means it is half inside this, and it looks stupid. But if you put it so there's an entrance there, an entrance there, what happens is that'll slide into the wall. So it actually looks reasonable, and that's the rationale behind that. Anyway, let me just work all the way this down here. This isn't the most efficient, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you know, the old sort of. This is, you can see prisoners, like, you know, armed guards basically walking all the way around and back and forward, etc. That's the idea anyway. I've just thought as well, can I get a third one in here in the right size? I can. Awesome. I mean, that was always the plan, but what I did, I realised halfway through building this, which is incidentally why I stopped planning it rather. I realised that the actual height of this thing I hadn't measured. I just went and put it in. So it's lucky that we can actually get that one in the centre, and it is the right size. So there you go. You can see exactly what we're going for here. It would have been easier for me to just draw a big line across and cut the centre out, but alas. I wish there was a way to copy, you know, you can clone things. You can clone things in the game, but I wish there was a way to clone big parts of the plan. That would be very good. Right, let me put some entrances in here for the showers. We're going to do the showers like that. There's the entrances there, like so, and that works for me. Yes, I think that's okay. So we'll have the showers all the way along there. Probably not enough to get all of these prisoners, but you know what? You know what? I don't care. I like that idea of just having it like that. Right. I've already sort of shot myself on the foot a little bit. That's 25. Let me just plan this off here. So it's along here, and then it's 25, which is... Yeah, I've already shot myself in the foot because I've left very little room for everything else. So, we'll see how this goes, won't we? Right, so we're going to copy this design straight over, really. So that's where the shower will be, and then we got that, and then that, and then that. Yep, there we go. And then we've got our entrances in to the shower block. The reason I've putting these little lips in is because I can put drains there and then metal detectors there if I want. I don't have to have metal detectors, you understand, but I can at least have double drain, which is always a good thing. Definitely always a good thing. Right, I'm doing this the more efficient way now, especially, well, apart from when I do it wrong like that, which saves on the old finger strain. So we'll drag all these along to the end. And this will be our second cell block. And I'm sure someone has already worked out, may even be you, exactly how many that these can hold. I, however, have not. For several reasons. Primarily effort. I can't be bothered to work out exactly how many prisoners I'm going to have. I might do it in a moment, see how many we can actually have. So there's all that planned off. And then we cut this bit out there. Cut this bit out there. No, we don't cut that bit out because that'd cut off half the stuff we've just done, and that would be sort of pointless work. There we go. So, not too bad. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, this is a lot of prisoners. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 120... 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 18, nearly 150 prisoners. Oh, good grief. I've probably overdone this. I've probably overdone this. Sack it. It's what we're going to go with. Right, so we need an entrance to the prison. This will be the entrance here. We'll have the entrance like so, and then what we'll do is we'll have our deliveries inside. I think we'll have our deliveries inside. I'm sort of rethinking my perimeter wall around the outside thing. Sack it, it's planned off now, and it's too much effort to move this whole thing a couple of spaces more. Right, so this perimeter wall, normal walls. We'll have deliveries and garbage on the inside, I think. So we'll have them, for example, like what we'll do is we'll just make them thin. We'll have them like that. and like that. There we go. So we'll have sort of entrance there, and we'll just go to objects, we'll put it like that. And then what I want is visitation in a fairly big area. So if I go to walls, I'm going to put walls like along there and along there. And I have an idea here. I'm going to do that, and then that. Oh, cancel that, and like that. Because I want access for... I basically want the staff to be able to go down these bits here. Although, inevitably, what's going to happen is that the guards are going to take the... the guards are going to take the prisoners that way, but whatever. Right, let me... let's just see what we can do for visitation. We'll cancel this bit off for now. Now we know the centre's here. So we have objects, and we'll have visitation like so. Like that, I think. Yeah, I think that looks okay to me. And we'll have double visitation actually, like that, like so. Cancel them bits of walls out. Cancel them walls out. And there we go. And then we can go to walls again and put the walls back in, like so. It auto-saved in the middle of that, which wasn't good. Right, objects, door, door. There you go. So that's our visitation. So we got deliveries. What's this one again? Deliveries and garbage. Yeah, deliveries there, garbage there. We need storage. We need officers. We need lots of other things. Armory, because that's a new thing. Staff room. Good grief. Right. Let me just. I think this here is going to be a lovely storage area. That's going to be storage. Yes, storage. And then this will be our... What can that be? Power could go in there. Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to put power at the back this time instead of at the front. Because I always put it at the front. That's boring. I'm going to change it around a bit. I want this here. I want this to have... I want them to have access to this. So what... this is difficult. See... Whichever way you cut this, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not. See, I want access so that this is the problem I always have. I always want free access to the deliveries and the storage, or staff access to the deliveries and storage rather. But I don't want prisoners to be walking near it. So I've got this visitation room here, which is close to the entrance, which is what you want, because otherwise you can't. You know, you're not going to be able to pick stuff up. Or it's going to take them ages to get inside the prison and such. But the problem I have is that they're going to come in here, so the only way to get the prisoners there is to go down the centre bit or straight through that way, which will take them across this barrier here, which I've already marked out to be staff only. My head hurts already. I've also just realised that because the deliveries are indoors, it means that these will have to be well, basically the prisoners will have to have access, because if I buy sheet metal, it's going to have to come in that way. This is really, really difficult. I think what I'll do then, let's have a bit of a redesign. We'll delete all that, like so. We'll close that off, and we'll close that off. Deliveries, garbage, now on the outside. This is still perimeter wall, okay? Still with me? Good. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? We can't do this. We can't really do it the way I wanted to do it. Right. I think we're going to sack the entire idea. And we will forget about the free access for everybody along this sort of path here. So we'll have it so that... This is just, we'll put some more objects in here, put a larger visitation. That's probably too big, right? I mean, how many visitors do you need? I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 visitor tables. Actually, with 150 prisoners, that's probably about right. That's probably about right. Anyway, we're going to make it so... See, this doesn't work. It doesn't work again because you're going to have to... It's not logical, because you wouldn't have... The only access to the prison, a visitation room. So guards going to be going back and forward. We're going to have chefs walking past with pans full of boiling water and cabbage. And no, that doesn't work. That does not work at all. So we're going to have this centre bit like that to say that, right, this is another way around, which is that. Okay, that's the other way around. So storage, and could have staff room there, I suppose. We could have that as a staff room. That would make sense. But then again, that's where the prisoner access is, so that doesn't make much sense either. I think I've got a better idea. Cut that off. Join them up. And what we'll do, we'll have access to this area via there. Like that. At either side. I don't know if that makes sense either, but it's probably the best I can do. And just for the sake of time, really, I think that's what we're going to do. But then again, we're going to have... That would mean we'd have a door. Ooh, this will be tricky. Door there, door there, door there, door there. Huh. Bit strange, that, isn't it? Doesn't really work. I could do something completely maverick for me anyway, and actually not even bother having a little gap between this large cell block and that cell block. So basically, effectively, it's one massive stonking building, which doesn't really get me going, but I think it might be a good idea if we just do that. Okay, let's work on that premise. Okay, let's work on that premise because it's different, and we're going to try and do something a little bit different. So, if that, say, connects up to there, this will be a perimeter wall, as I mentioned before. Perimeter wall, I think that, something like this. Okay, we'll block them off there. We'll block this off there. So we now got a lot more room. We've still got perimeter wall going around the outside, and we've still got our deliveries and such here, so yeah, let's see what we can do. So, redesign at the front. So everything's now connected. This is going to make it really difficult to actually control if there's a riot, which I'll have shotguns, I'll have loads of them, so that'll be okay. Right. Do you want visitation here? Yeah. I like the idea of visitation around here. Although what I might do, I might have double visitation. Like that. And then like that. And then we'll still have this bit in the centre. Like so. Hang on. This might fix the problem. This is the main entrance. Goes down the centre. Prisoners go in there. That's where they enter. Okay. Okay, right, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with gas. Although you wouldn't really have them like that. We'll have them... We have this... We can't have them like that. Have them like this? Ooh. Works, mate. That works, mate. There we go. Okay, that's our new design. Like so. And then we'll have access to that at the back. Right. Okay. Good. I've just realised that that is too small. There we go. And then we'll cancel that and put the walls back in. See, a lot of people have commented that I should really skip to the what they call the interesting bit where I get it right on the planning. Surely the whole point is to show the process of this. Like, it's not just a magical process of, yay, look, I've done it first time and it's all right. This is how it is. You know, I get it wrong. And you can see the mistakes and then I explain the rationale why I change things and why things are the way they are. So now we've got our deliveries there. Garbage there. The reason they're outside is because if they were inside, it would mean prisoners would need access. I don't want them to have access. So we're having outside so the workmen will carry everything to the workshop, like metal and such. Then we have an entrance here. Then we have two entrances on either side. I'll make this bit staff only because it means that the prisoners to go into that one or that one will have to go through double doors there, and then they can see, basically they can visit. The only problem I can see, and there's a couple of problems, is that often two of the same building doesn't work, although the previous alpha said they'd fix that. I'll you know what, I'll wait and see. And also, if this person, like, here, has got someone visiting, and they go over here, it means he has to walk around all the way around the other side of the prison, which means I might leave that as... I could do that, but then again, it's a lot of doors. But you know what? We'll play that by ear. We'll see what happens with that. Right. So, From here on in, this big block here is sort of staff only. So we will delete that bit. Oh, cancel that bit there. And then we will put in a couple of chunky areas. We'll have... I think we'll have a staff room and a armory next to each other. I think that might make sense. Or do we put the offices there? We could put the offices in. Offices would be more preferable at this moment in time. How many offices can we get in? Probably not enough. No, because it needs to be 4x4, and that's 4x4. Let me just cancel that off and see how many would get in if we were just doing it as a straight building like that. 1, 2. So we get 5 offices in if we did it like that. But it means that whoever's in this office is going to have people trampling through it all the time, which again doesn't really sit well. Instead, what I'm going to do is again something just a little bit different. I'm going to split the offices up either side, like so. There we go. And then what we're going to have is offices there. Then we'll have probably... Oh my god, this is going to be not efficient in the slightest, but it's interesting. We'll have this, which will be a staff room. And in the centre of that staff room, hang on, if I do this, hang on, is that right size? It isn't the right size. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the right size. That will be our warden's office. So the warden's office in the centre, then we've got like a staff room that goes around the outside like that. More of a waiting room, actually, you could sort of think of it. And then it means that they can walk around like that, and then we'll have an entrance to the... Well, entrance there, and there. And then we'll have maybe an entrance to this guy's office there. Do I like that idea? I can't decide. I want to make the staff room bigger, though, because we're going to have a lot of staff in this one. Something like that. Can't decide. Can't decide. It's really inefficient, isn't it? It's really inefficient. You know what? I just thought of something different. If I just have an entrance... No, I can't do that. I was going to say, what if I have just... This is a staff room, like, there you go. All the centre bits of staff room, but then... Doesn't make logical sense, because there's always going to be pots and pans and stuff getting carried through it and such, which, doesn't really make a very good staff room if you're trying to relax and such, and get a bit of strength back. Having you're having your second breakfast, your morning tea or whatever, and someone comes along and you're just trying to enjoy a beverage, and they come along with a big pot full of sprouts that's boiling, and they're trying to fling it out, and then they carry bacon through, and then there are loads of tiles ready for building the shower at the back. You're probably not going to be that relaxed, are you? So that's why I did that. Because then it is a separate room and they can walk either side. Yeah. That's why we'll do it like that. Then we'll have it like... We'll have the warden's office. Again, it was something like that, wasn't it? It was like that at this side. The back. And we did that. Which I don't technically need, so I could probably do that. And then get a bit more room to whatever building's back here. That makes more sense to me. I like that idea, because then as they're resting here, the warden can just look out and go, hey, get back to work or whatever. Which again sort of goes against the relaxing thing I just mentioned, but that interests me. That seems to work all right for me. Yeah, I like that idea. Right, okay. We're working on the premise of that. Let me now go and put in whatever's going to be down the bottom here. So we'll just drive these along, and we will put staff room. And warden's office. Staff room's probably too big. Am I going to redesign this again? Do I really have the time? Has everybody left? Most people probably aren't watching now anyway, so I can do it. Let me see if I can redesign it a bit better. It's just, you don't need an office you don't need something that big. And that makes more sense to me. Sack it, I'm going to do that just for the sake of... I've given up. That there, right? That's the warden's office. This going around the outside is our staff room. That's not sitting well at all. It's not sitting well with me. No, I've just thought of something different. There we go. Let's waste loads of space and have a big warden's office. We'll have a separate room for him. Big warden's office. Big staff room. That sits a little bit better with me for no other reason that it looks better. So I'm going to do that. That's the thing you can post in the comments if you can try and fix it for me. Please, by all means, go and do that. Right, so I will cancel that off because we don't need to... No, we do need to have that there. Although we are wasting... Oh, you know what? I'm lying. This thing's bugging me now. This thing's really starting to yank my chain. This warden's office. It doesn't sit right with me it being that size now. Because it's too big and it's too much space getting wasted. That is better. That's better. Because then you can have it like that, and you can have larger rooms. Instead of wasted space. That's what I'm doing. And I promise I won't change it again. Until about, you know, maybe in 30 seconds I'll change it. But at the moment, I'm not going to change it. Right, so, let's have this as probably the... I said I was going to put power down the other end, but I think I'm lying, because that's a perfect place to put it. There's power in there, and there's power in there. And then I need water somewhere, which I might put water at the back. Yeah, put water at the back. And I will then close these off, so like so. We've got a little bit of wasted space there, but what you're going to do. Right, so I might have that as an access with like a jail door, so we can always quickly get to there. Oh, that might make sense. Something like that. Have like a staff only access like that. I like that idea. The only problem with it is when I was going to say when it riots. If it riots, hopefully it won't, they can just bust down 2 doors and they're in here. But then again, the same can be said for pretty much either way. So, you know what? I like that idea. It's like access to quickly get in there. There we go. See, this is why I said, you know, it might sound sloppy, the process, but I think we've come up with a good design there. Very efficient-ish. Right, so there's that put in. This area will be the kitchen, I've decided. I think that will work. We'll have the kitchen, just that. There, that's the kitchen. I don't know how exactly we're going to do the rest. Because it means that to get to the other side, you're having to go through... You're having to go through the kitchen. No, you'd go through there, wouldn't you? Workman would go through there. Okay, that sits a bit better. So, if we have access here... we have, for example, objects. We'll have that and that. Sinks, basically. There's sinks there. Fridges. Big set of fridges, like so. Cookers. 24, that fits. Although, doesn't really because I want it, so let's have a quick look. Measure at 10. We want an entrance. Measure at 10. We want an entrance. Not no real point in that, is it? If I put an entrance like that. Actually, I know what I want to do. I want to do that. Like that. Then we'll have 2 sets of jail doors, I think. Yeah. No, I'll put jail door. I'll put probably jail door there. Oh, I don't know. Do I need to do that? Don't like the idea of jail doors on the kitchen because it's really inefficient for the cooks. What if we just do something a little bit crazy here? If we go objects, we go 5. And then 5. That's 6 even. 5. 1, 2, 3. And then we can't fit another one in. So hang on, let me just see if this works. We'll do that. Like so. Then we put in... 5. So it's not going to be central regardless of what I do, which really bugs me. And that's 2 little serving tables, and that's too inefficient. It's going to have to be 5 and 5, like that. And what I mentioned earlier, which is just a straight, like that, jail door. Jail door, jail door. Or double jail. Do I have double jail door? Yeah, double jail door, and I can lock one open. Okay, that's done. And that one will be opened by guards, which we're going to have a lot of guards in this, if that hasn't already been apparent. Right, let me go back to objects. Cookers, we can fit 10 in there. Oh, we have 5 in there, then another 5. Then if we need to, we can always fit another 10 there and 10 there. Is that right? Hang on. Can always put them like There's 2. There's 2. There's 2. Oh, yeah! Oh, that'll look good. If I do it like that instead. Make the whole thing like that. Let's just try it. Because, again, we're doing something different. We might as well try something different. Sort of 2 in there, 2 there. And then, oh, that looks cool. Oh, we're doing that. There we go. There's cookers there. Oh, right, we're doing that. Just because it looks pretty cool. And no other reason. So, basically, 2 sets of cookers facing that way, 2 sets of cookers facing that way, and then the same thing on either side, all the way to there. And then we can have freezers. Freezers. Hang on. Hang on, freezers. Freezers. There we go. Yeah, and then we might run out of freezers. But that's a lot of freezers, right? Freezers there, freezers there. Yeah, I don't think we'll need that many cookers. So we can probably undo, like, maybe what, one of these. One of these, maybe undo one of them. Or we could have freezer, freezer, cooker, cooker. Oh, that would blow my mind. Oh, we're trying that. Oh, imagine that. Right, okay. Cooker on either side, then 2 freezers in the centre. Probably too many. But, hey, we're never going to run out of it, right? Oh, we're doing that just because it'll look cool. And you know what? I'm just going to design it as that. That there. And then I can always change it, can't I? If I need to. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, done, 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 done. Problem solved. Right, okay, so we'll come over here to our cafeteria. How we're going to do this? I want it so they get scanned as they come in. So we'll have to put some sort of metal detector in, like that. I think we'll do the same on this side. So, like that. Yep. That makes sense to me. And then we will have it... we'll cancel back that bit there. And we'll put... No, we won't put a wall in yet. We'll put the stuff in first. So we'll go to Objects. Then it's 3x4 and 3x4. And it's that pretty much... down the ways. So it's bench, table, bench is what we're going for here. Bench, table, bench, bench, table, bench. And we'll do it from both sides so we know that we're meeting in the centre correctly. I don't know if we'll make it... Oh, that makes sense to me. That looks alright. Walls, we'll put it like so. Yep, seems about right. And now we will have... Here, we'll have... I could probably move these benches forward, couldn't I? If I had that. Although it's a bit cramped. It's a bit cramped. But I could always then get rid of them. And then have at the back something I've been wanting to do for a little bit. And we'll do that. We'll do that, so we'll have... Oh, it is a bit cramped, that, isn't it? That's very cramped. We'll have this as... See, I like the idea of having, like, toilets in the back of this thing. But I don't know. I don't know. I think that's too cramped, you know. I can't really get away with that. It's too cramped, especially with all of the high-risk prisoners I'm going to have in this. If this is going to do high risk. I don't even know if this is going to cater to all of the prisoners we got. I think it might be a bit too small, but we'll go with that for now. We'll go with that for now. I can always put a big row of phone booths. When in doubt, phone booth. There you go. Right across. In fact, what I could do, I could just do 3x3. No, I want, if anything, I want it closer to that. Be 16. And that. So 3 and then 3. How big's that? That is 16. So we could have just that. Just a massive row of benches. Could do that as well, couldn't I, really, here? Could sort of cramp it in a little bit more. Put these right next to each other. But then you wouldn't be able to get the back one, would you? How are we going to have this? Do I want to do that? Cancel that off. What if I did it like that? Like that. And what would it have to be for 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Won't be able to get them all in. Could do a 22 though, and have gap and then gap. Or rather, it would probably be 8 and then a gap, wouldn't it? So it'll be there. And then there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll have 1 in the centre. I like that, you know. Again, going something completely different. Never done anything like that before. I like that idea. And you know what? I don't need these metal detectors here because the whole prison's interconnected, so I can worry. I don't have to worry about that. There we go. That's much better. That's what we're gonna do. There you go. Awesome. Cool. That's how the process works. So we'll have the entrances there, like so. Like that, I think. Yes. Okay, and then we can also have entrances out the back to what will be our yard, which will be really small, like that. Very, very small indeed. Right. That's a yard. It's not very big. In fact, I'll make it a little bit smaller, actually. Make it a little bit smaller. Like that. That's a yard. So, now what I have in the back here, I have to fit so many things. I have to put in, let's have a quick look here. Cells, yes. Holding cell, no, we haven't got any. Solitary, no, we haven't got any. Canteen, yes. Kitchen, yes. Shower, yes. Yard, yes. Might as well designate it now. Yard. Storage, yes. Deliveries, yes. Garbage, yes. Execution, no, we're not having any. Workshop, I'll come back to that. Security, no, we don't have one. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. Security, bollocks. Okay. Office, yes. Infirmary, no. Morgue, no. Common room, no. Laundry, no. Visitation, yes. Cleaning cupboard, no. Kennel, no. Armory. I knew there was something I forgot. I knew there was something I forgot. The armory. And forestry, which the forestry is something new. It's a way of automating placing and gathering trees, which is one of my main complaints with Alpha 16, that it turned into a micromanaging game of, well, just tree management, a tree micromanagement game. That's what it was. And now if you designate something as forestry, gardeners will automatically plant and indeed harvest the trees. So it's okay for that. It's good for that. Right. We have a problem now because I have to fit all of them things, pretty much a third of all of the prison requirements in this area, which I don't think I can do. And certain things like the armory, I don't want to put over there. I want to put the armory here, around here. And there's no minimum size to it. What I'm thinking is that these areas here are getting changed. So we're going to cancel that, and we're going to cancel that. That bug's still in. There we go. We'll have that as the armory. I think that is the armory. And that, does Kennel need to be outside? Surrounded by walls and doors. It can be inside, apparently. Don't think it can be, though. Let's have a look. Does that... Where is it? Where is it? Deliveries? No. Where is it? Yard. So it needs to be 5 by 5, a yard. And I've just realised, let your prisoners see the sun for a few hours a day under the watchful eye of a sniper towers. I don't have them. I don't have sniper towers. You know what? Kennel? It says that's being closed. Doesn't say it needs to be inside. Although they say indoors, so that implies that the yards need to be outside. But I don't know. I don't know whether that's the thing. Either way, we're going to have that as the armory. We'll have that as... we'll call it for now, okay? We'll call it for now just by doing that. We're having... No, we need to make it... We need to make it a little bit larger. We'll have it as the morgue, which will run like 1, 2, 3, 4 slabs like that, I think. And then we'll... actually, we'll put that wall back in. We can run that along like that. We'll have 3 slabs. Then I can have 4 beds and 5 beds, something like that. Probably a bit too cramped, but that'll do for now. And then the access will be there. Access to the armory will be there. That sort of works-ish, but there we go. So we got 2 more things done. So back to this nightmare. I need to put in some sort of, well, I definitely need a workshop. I was going to use the new forestry thing because you can designate things as forestry and cut wood, but I think that we will revert back to the standard way of making money, sort of a la license plate. So I think we'll go with that. We need to put this building in, and it's what's the best size? I don't know what the best size is going to be for that. For the workshop. You know what? I think the workshop's going to have to come last, and make sure we have everything else first. So we need security. Do we need security? Well, we do need it, but I can place security other places. I can dot it around. What I could do is even think about putting security around here and having like a security office at each cell block, which would be more accurate, I think. Let's try that again, something different. Let's have it so we'll cancel these two off at the end and have that as a security office, which will have if I made it a little bit smaller, 1 2 3 1 2, that's a shame. I'd have to have it like that, which wouldn't really work, although let's have a quick look. If we have one there, then we'll have one there, one there, that'll be CCTV. Then we'll have another one there because it's 3 by 3. Yeah, whichever way I cut it, it's not going to work. Let me put that wall back in. I think we'll just have 3 by 3 by 3. There we go. That'll do. And then that's our CCTV. We can even put one right across there if we wanted to, but then there's no way for him to get in and out. But there you go. There's CCTV. Not much of it, but I will have a lot of guards with shotguns going around the place, so that should cover the line of sight issue. Right, so security's in, officers are in, infirmary and morgue are in, common room, laundry and cleaning cupboard is pretty much, and workshop is all I've got left. So this area, cleaning cupboard, I think I will put off here and put off the yard. So you need access to the yard to get, basically you would go through the yard. I think that makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense, but it's what I'm going to do. We'll have it like that, make it a little bit wider like that, and then that'll be a centralized area for the laundry, and then I think cleaning cupboard, which needs to be a minimum size of 3 by 3, but I have a feeling that if I do it any smaller than that, I won't be able to assign people to it. I did that. There we go, and then we'll have access to this via doors there. So we'll have 2 cleaning cupboards. There we go. I think that seems to work okay. Then we will have, I think, we need that water pump thing that I was mentioning before. Water pump we'll have, I think, in here. Like that. It's 3 by 3, so 1 2 3. No, where do I want it? Actually, you know what? I can fit that in anyway. It's like a tiny thing. I can mess around and place it wherever. I'll worry about that in a moment. What have we got left to do? Rooms. We've got our laundry put in. Visitation is over there. Cleaning cupboards, yes, 2 of. Kennel. And workshop. Let's put the workshop. Let's have the workshop over here. So I can't remember what the right size for this thing was. Was it 8 by 12 internal? I really can't remember what the ideal size for a workshop was. I think I might be wrong. You know what? Since I can't actually remember at this time what the right size for a workshop to be the most efficient size, I'm going to leave it there. What I plan on doing is have, I think, a workshop in the center, and we'll connect that up to that side, and then I'll put in solitary cells there, and then probably at the back, and I'll put the other stuff in as well. And I think I'll basically, I don't want to plan this workshop off without knowing the right size, because I've totally forgotten, which is terrible. I know, I apologize for that, but that's just how it is. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to plan off a workshop in here, as well as solitary, and we're probably not even going to bother with a holding cell. If we do have a holding cell, it'll be a temporary solution, like I'll make this, one of these bits here, a holding cell, and just leave it there. But we'll see. We'll see. Right, there you go. Not too bad, I think. It's definitely different from what I've done before. I mean, well, I've done this sort of double cell block thing before, but I've never really made something that's this square. It looks very square, and I've never had a prison that's going to be so small, compact, and have that many prisoners. Also, not made a prison that that is totally connected. Really, this is one big building, right? Like from there, trace it round. That there is one big building, massive. And we've still got the perimeter wall that goes around the outside of that as well. So we'll see. Next episode, we will start construction and see how far we get. Obviously, we're going... I didn't sell my last prison, so this is straight off grants and things like that. So this will take a while to make this one because we won't have grants. We're not going to be doing the forestry thing. Even if we were, they've changed. Forestry's been changed, so trees no longer grow in 2 days. It takes 5 days. So again, it's slowed the economy of the game right down, or rather, it's put the economy in line with well, it's changed the economy and the tree growth so that you actually have to work at it a little bit more now, instead of just going, I'm going to plant 5 trees and within a couple of days I'm going to have more money than God. So yes, that's good, I guess. Right, comments in the comments for this area over here, because I'm a bit of a moron and forgot the actual size of that. But anyway, either way, I'll put that in, and then I will put the other stuff around it and probably move things around. If you have any comments in regards to the design, please feel free to post them. And I will try and alter this before the start of the next episode, assuming you're watching this close to release. If you're watching this months and months ahead, then I'm sorry, I can't actually do anything about it. But, you know, just check the release date of the video, I'm sure. Right, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and you know, partings. Don't know why I ended that really quick, but, yeah, bye.